Senator from West Virginia.
Mr. President, thank you. I want to thank my colleague from Oregon for his big heart and his compassion and continue always worrying about those who are left behind and forgotten. I can assure you that Senator Merkley does not leave anybody behind, or he never forgets those who are in need of help. Let me just say, in speaking about what we're dealing with, unlike anything we've ever seen in my lifetime and in most people's lifetimes. Up until a couple days ago, my state of West Virginia felt like they were immune. There was no cases reported. We were like an island in a sea of infestation around. I knew that was not the case, but many people did not know that we just weren't testing. And the amount of tests were just not out there in the priorities. So people had a false sense of maybe hope or security, and now that has been shattered. We have our first case now, and I think I'm praying to the good Lord that we don't have many more, but I suspect that because of the fragility of our citizens, the elderly population that we have, those who have done hard work all their lives, have respiratory illnesses that could be in jeopardy, and we're very concerned about that. I was reluctant about coming and speaking, but I think there's some things that need to be said, because we're moving in an unprecedented way of how much money should be thrown at a pandemic. How much money do they believe it will take to get us through this horrible time? Well, first of all, we should be thinking about, are we investing in trying to build our healthcare defense system back up? That's been basically decimated in the last 2 or 3 years. Should we not put the scientists and the people who know back in the position that can be looking at any of these horrible illnesses, diseases, and pandemics, viruses that were coming from different parts of the world, that can protect us from it hitting our country again like this? Next of all, should we not be putting everything we have as far as our research capabilities and working with all the scientists and all of the different centers that we have, that we could find basically a way to treat this virus and a vaccine that would prevent those from contracting this virus? Those are the things that we should be totally, absolutely committed to and spending our time and effort immediately upon. Next of all, the financial help that we are going to need. First of all, don't you think we should be using this through every challenge that we've ever had in this great country? We have found a way to come out of it bigger and stronger. But don't you think we should be manufacturing the medical devices that we need to heal and cure and take care of American citizens right here in the good old USA? Don't you think we should be having the amount of products it takes to make the pharmaceutical pills that we need in order to keep us healthy, or cure us, if you will? Don't you think some of that should be done in the USA that we've allowed to leave our shores and find in desperate need? Don't you think we should be making just a medical mask to protect our first responders and all of our medical workers who we need to have on the job? Those are the things we're worried about with the fallout that can come from this horrific epidemic. But it gives us a chance to reconnect, basically, and also a way to correct maybe the lackadaisical approach we've taken to manufacturing over the years. This is a time for us to change. But let me throw something else at you, Mr. President. I don't think that you and I need a $1,000 check. I don't think we need that. I think there's an awful lot of people in America that still have a job, even if they're working from home, that basically is not going to change their life with that $1,000 check. But think about the people that truly do need that, and a lot more. People on the front line that have no control over this whatsoever, that doesn't have a guaranteed source of income unless they're out there earning it every day. Don't you think we can help them more through expanded unemployment benefits, working through the system that we already have in place in all of our states and in this country? Don't you think that might be a better way? How about the small businesses that aren't capitalized to the point to where they have no ability whatsoever to continue to operate when there's no capital and they don't have cash flow or reserves to take care of it? Don't you think we can help them through the SBA, removing some of the restrictions and red tape that we have? Unemployment benefits, basically waiting on wait times, increasing that to a $500 a week limit, things of that sort that would help. Don't you think the large corporations, which I know everyone's concerned about, they got one tremendous tax break. Now, with that being said, they will come back. They can afford to pay back a loan of 0% interest, if you will, helping some way, keeping that part of the economy stimulated, but not to the point where we're putting our children and grandchildren in a debt that we could avoid, but not being compassionate and sympathetic towards those who really need it on the front line, which is the average working person that gets up every day and finds out there's no work for them. They're already on the unemployment. They're in the system. Also, the small businesses that have struggled, they're there. We're to the point now where we're going to bite off a lot more, and we're going to write checks that our children can't cash. That's exactly what we're doing if we're not smart about this. And it seems that everyone's just gathering around now, okay, for whatever type of cover. I'm not sitting here blaming the president or blaming any administration or anybody else for what we didn't do 2 or 3 or 4 months ago. I'm sitting here now, are we going to take responsibility for what we're about to do that doesn't make any sense whatsoever? So with that being said, let's make sure the money that we're putting in the system is fixing the medical end of it, finding a cure for this virus, making sure that other viruses or pandemics don't attack us. Let's make sure that we're doing everything that we can of what we're responsible for. Every leader takes an oath of office. When you raise your hand, whether you're a mayor, whether you're a governor, whether you're the president, whatever, you should be thinking immediately upon taking that oath, what can I do to protect the people that I'm responsible to represent? If you can't do that, then you're going into the wrong job with the wrong idea, I can assure you of that. So what I'm saying is I've got the most at-risk population in the country, an older population, and a population that's done heavy lifting and heavy jobs that's basically given respiratory concerns and ailments. They are most vulnerable, and this pandemic could take a horrific toll on the population of the state of West Virginia if we're not careful what we do. But also it can change the course of how we do business and how we look after each other in America. This is asking all of us, this is challenging every one of us to bring in the humanity inside, the compassion, bring in basically who we are as a people. The American people are the most generous, caring, compassionate people. West Virginians treat everybody as their neighbor, and that's who we are. We must take care of our neighbors. We must reach out and help those in need. And right now, we have a situation where I'm concerned about that all of us have not done our job as well as we could. And just throwing caution to the wind, thinking we can make everybody happy if it's political coverage, because we're going to be throwing money at everything, thinking this will take care of it. It won't. It won't unless you have a root cause of the problem that we're getting to. And that is fixing our manufacturing base, taking care of Americans, making sure people that can't work on no recourse of their own and no desire by themselves, but they have absolutely no challenging from the standpoint of where they have, where they're able to basically have control of their destiny. They're requiring basically to provide the services, and that means the jobs have to be, that means the demand have to be there. We've cut most of that out. Let's make sure we take care of them. Let's make sure, and we can do that without bankrupting our future generations. I think that can be done. I will say this. I spoke to Vice President Mike Pence last night and told him the dire need that we were in. I said, Mr. Vice President, I know that people are thinking West Virginia has been spared. We have not. We just haven't tested. We need more test kits. We need more protected for our first responders. We need respirators and ventilators. We need the tents as first tier operations. We're not in a second tier. We're too vulnerable to be in that second tier. If you want to stop the carnage that could happen if this thing breaks loose in my state full-fledged, then please help us. He's responded. And I want to thank the Vice President for basically reaching out, helping West Virginia, and we're going to get through this. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. There will be a new day, And we have a chance to correct the problems that we have right now. This has been of our own makings, and we can correct them by our own actions right now. So I want to thank you, Mr. President. I hope all of our colleagues are working in a bipartisan way. It should bring us together. There's very few times that this opportunity comes. And I've said in the political arena, you have two things that happen. You better never, ever, ever not take advantage of a crisis and make something better happen. And that's what we're dealing with now. And basically a mandate. The people are mandating us to do our job. They're mandating us to work together, to find cures, not to basically be irresponsible or act like we're not in touch with the average person. We are, because that's who we represent. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.